Hey, Brittany here, and I am coming to you wet hair and all because I was just going to keep putting this off until I put makeup on, until I did my hair, and I said, you know what, if I don't record this now, I'm not going to get this out. In this video episode, I think I'm going to put it on the podcast too, I'm sharing how I made over $1,000 in 5 days without big launches, without a high ticket product, just because of an experiment I'm doing. I think you're going to be really into it. So in this video, in this episode, I'm just going to share exactly what I did. I do recommend watching this video version because I'm going to be walking you through a Google Sheet. And by the way, this is just the first week of it. This is a 45-day experiment. So if you want to come follow along with me, you can actually get a viewer's view of the Google Sheet. You can see exactly what I'm doing every single day. I'm sharing my thoughts, I'm sharing my reflections, my feedback, what I'm finding, my mistakes, and you can learn from it so that you can do this too. Anybody could do this. I really do believe it. So I'm going to get into the experiment in a second, but I just want to let you know, if you're listening on the audio version, I highly recommend coming over to video, and I will make sure that if you are listening on an audio only platform, in the episode description, you get a link to this video on my YouTube channel and you can come over here. If you already are on video, hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Brittany Verlenich. I'm a content strategist, social media manager, total marketing nerd, and today I'm diving into how I made over $1,400 in 5 days without big launches or high ticket sales. Let's get into it. So this is the Google Sheet in question right here, and this actually came from something that was happening a couple of weeks ago, and so I just want to show you. I have learned about myself that if I gamify things, it's just going to go way better for me. I need for things to be fun, and I used to argue with myself over that and said, you have to be disciplined, you have to have tasks, you have to know what you're doing every single minute of every day, you need to have a schedule, you need to block it. And while there is absolutely merit to all of those suggestions, to all of that advice, what works for one person might not work for another. I feel like that's a huge theme of my life and this show. I just had to finally come to terms with, if I am going to produce and create and earn at the level I want to, I need to have a system that works for me, and I have to be able to embrace my strengths and use that. I do truly believe that. I've seen the evidence of that, and now definitely I have some data to back it up. So I am in this membership, which I cannot praise enough. This is AI to 100K by Brittany Long. If you are looking at the video version, what you're seeing right now is that Facebook group. And I want to show you a couple of posts I made and explain what I was thinking and what happened, which really prompted in me participating in this challenge. I don't know if Brittany Long and I were just on the same wavelength and she was already planning to run this and I was already kind of doing this, but it's just really great. So I can't wait to share it with you. Okay, so here we go. By the way, when you're in a Facebook group, if you ever want to see all of the posts you've made in that group, whether this is your group that you own, that you're an admin of, or another Facebook group that you happen to be a part of, you can just go click on your picture and it will show you every single post you've made recently. This is actually my group profile here in that Facebook group. So if I wanted to be fancy, I could actually, by the way, go in here, I could click edit, I could create a separate cover photo for the interactions in this group. I could create a separate bio for myself in this group. I'm not doing that today, but I wanted to share that because, of course, this is the Social Media Magic Podcast. I would be remiss to not share with you something you can do in Facebook groups. But here is my group profile. This is my feed, right? So we're going to scroll down a little bit, and I just wanted to share what I was doing, okay? So I'm going to read this off in case you're listening. This is just a regular post in the group. I told myself I was going to make $1,000 this week, and I did it. I'm so tired, but I did it. I had something come up personally where I had to make a lot of money in a very short amount of time. I will just tell the story actually. So we went to this event over the weekend. This was actually a paid travel event. And when I say over the weekend, not this past weekend, it was a month ago, more than a month ago now. And as I was coming back, I noticed some extreme pain and pressure in the right side of my face. And I couldn't figure out exactly what it was, but it started spreading. And I was getting really nervous because that pain extended from the top of my mouth and my jaw all the way up through my sinus, all the way up through my bone and through my eyeball and the eye socket, literally all the way up to here. And this pain was growing in intensity and strength as it went up my face. And I don't know how to explain it, but those next 24 hours, I was in such excruciating pain. The only way I could also describe it is that there was just building pressure. And I had a feeling it had to do with my teeth. I also have dental problems. You will know I have made it financially when you see me getting fake teeth or when you're getting all these teeth replaced. It's seriously like so much. It costs so much. So I knew I had to make several $1,000s in a couple of days. I knew that whatever this was, it was going to be expensive. And even just seeing the doctors, I mean, if you're not here in the States, our dental care is just so expensive. Anyway, so I went to the dentist. I went to a specialist, which I knew I would need the referral for. And I found out I would need $3,000 to $4,000. And I didn't have that, even though I do make about that every single month, sometimes more. I didn't have that just laying around, right? Most of my money is earmarked. It's going towards bills. It's going towards business expenses, paying team members. It's going towards trips. I didn't have extra. And we actually did have a really nice chunk of savings, and we had to dip into it for a couple of other things. It's kind of been honestly one thing after another. We had something else come up a couple of weeks ago. And so it was a lot in a very short amount of time. And I said, well, this is non-negotiable. I have to make a couple of $1,000s more than I was previously expecting. So what am I going to do? I didn't really have the time or energy to go and create some big course or to do a big launch, especially because my face was in so much pain. And then by the time I actually did get to the dentist, I went once and then they had to do a specialist referral. So that took an extra week. So again, that's a week of not being able to really focus or record anything. I couldn't really show my face because my face was swollen. It was just really not a good time. And then by the time I got to the specialist, she said that I would be $3,000. And I told her, I don't have that. So what else can you do? I was able to get part of the procedure done, at least the emergency part, to make it over, to relieve some of the pain and pressure. Thankfully, that worked. I'm feeling so much better now. I'm still not 100% as far as even just hearing my voice. I can still hear the slight change. And because I'm a singer, I can just hear that it's different and it's bugging me. But I'm not at the point yet where I'm going to be able to go and get everything I want done, because now, since I got it done a different way, I'm going to have to go back and get other things done, which is actually going to be more expensive now. It is what it is. But anyway, I'm kind of thankful this happened because it showed me that if something really does go down and I have to make an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000, I can do it. So that is the why. Let me get back now to the how and the what. So the post says, I told myself I was going to make $1,000 this week and I did it. I'm so tired, but I did it. So let me go over with you what I did, and let me actually see if I can go to my comments. I knew I had to make this money and I had to think, what can I do, right? Because there are some things that are just out. I could do service providing, right? Like I could do social media management. I could do a mini chat funnel setup. And I did offer a couple of things like that. VIP days, by the way, if you're a service provider, great way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. Another thing I was thinking about that's been on my mind really for the past like maybe 9 months, there's this amazing book that's come out. If you haven't read it yet, it's called 10x is better than 2x. And it's this idea that if we want for things to drastically improve, to exponentially grow and improve, we can't just be looking for ways to doubling things, because all we're doing is more of the same mindset and productivity and things that we have now. What we need to do is think of ways that we can scale and have leverage. And what that means is doing things where it's not just us replacing time for dollars, hours for money. That is a really hard mindset to get out of, especially if you've always had a salaried career or you've had an hourly job. And even though I've been out of the classroom for 2 years as of when I'm recording this, it's still something that I'm constantly seeing is just embedded in my brain. And I have to go back to work on and deprogram myself, because I was raised like that for so many years in a public school. And then, I was an adult for so many years after that. So it's something I'm constantly working on. But I want to read this other post as well that prompted this, in addition to what had happened to me with my teeth. The post says, I've really been working to embody the idea 10x is better than 2x. In my travel business, 2x would look like me hosting more trips. Just the thought of that wears me out. But what does 10x look like? Hiring and trusting other teachers to build on what I started. Terrifying, if I'm honest. But I just opened up my application for trip hosts and I'm really excited for the opportunities and possibilities. I put possibilities on there, but opportunities is what I was thinking. So with my travel business, I realized actually last summer when I was hosting 3 weeks in Greece, if I was to do this times 2, that means Brittany, would have to be on the boat for 6 weeks back to back at a time. That sounds absolutely exhausting. I was tired after 3, even though it was so fun and I had a great time. But what does 10x look like? Well, 10x doesn't mean me being on the boat for 30 weeks. I guess it does if you just go straight. But if you think exponentially, if you think in scaling and growth, if I have more people hosting and leading trips, I don't have to do it all myself, right? So in a TPT example, if you want to get 2 times more products up in your store, and you have 5 products right now, then that means you have to go and create 5 more products, which if 5 is taking you 10 hours, then that means 5 more is going to take you another 10 hours. You're just doubling the amount of time you're spending. But if you want to 10x and get 50 products in your store, asking that question forces you to think more creatively and think, okay, If I'm not the one physically creating these products, if I hire someone on to help, maybe I give them a template, maybe I do a product line and then go from there. Maybe I can find some ways to make creative bundles so there's technically another product in my store that better meets the needs of my customers or future customers. Then you see we're starting to think more creatively, and that is really, I think, a strength I have, but I had to really use it when it came to money. So I had made $1,000 extra going towards my dental stuff. And then I had something else personal happen and I had to make more money. So my post said, can I do it again? Okay, y'all, my challenge this week is $2,000 extra. It's Tuesday and I'm at $300 already. Let's go. Who's trying with me? And I gamified it. Instead of being so stressed out and saying, I need to make $3,000 now, in that energy of, I need to desperately make money, I just thought, okay, I'm just going to see what happens. You see how it feels so much lighter? And that's really important to me because I need to keep myself motivated. If that's you, that might work for you as well. So then I started keeping them updated on my progress, which was really fun and also really motivating because I knew I had a community of people cheering me on. I shared them at 300 already, and then I shared another comment update. We're at 447 now. And then I shared later that day, now we're at 594. Can I do it? Can I get to 2,000? Will I have to work Saturday? So I kind of gave myself this challenge of like, hey, if you make 2,000 in these amount of days, then you don't have to work on Saturday. I didn't do it that week, but I was so happy to see Brittany Long say, hey, we're doing an experiment in this whole mastermind membership. We are going to take 45 days and see how much money we can make in that time. And you're going to set an amount each day. I was all about this because I had already been playing with this in weeks, but then I thought, oh my gosh, what if I could do this daily? And I started thinking backwards and doing the math. I'll do this right now with you. And I just thought, if I was to make $100,000 this year, what would I have to make every single day? Well, 100,000 divided by 365 days in a year is $273. So I told myself, wow, if I could just make $280 or $300 a day, I could easily make $100,000 a year. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's track it. Also, this is a really good experiment for me because it helps me see what is it that I'm doing every day when I'm making money? What are my income producing activities and what's wasting my time? Revenue stream wise, is all of my money coming from a certain place? Am I actually making as much as I think I am from services, or am I making more from affiliate marketing? Are my TPT products the biggest source, or am I making some from an Etsy store? I don't have my Etsy store set up yet, but I'm just having you think through these things. So this is a great exercise. And even if you never join Brittany Long's membership or mastermind, I highly recommend that you do this challenge. It's just a great way for you to track. It brings yourself awareness and it really changes your mindset because now you're focused on doing the things every day that are going to make you money instead of worrying how you're going to make money, which just sends you down this spiral of doom. Now we're actually going to look at the Google Sheet I made to track. This is exciting stuff. And by the way, like I said at the beginning, you can look at this. You can come and look at this in real time. I'm recording this only 5 days in. I'm going to keep going for those 45 days. In fact, I think this is something I'm going to implement in a daily practice. I'm really excited about it. So my 45-day goal was $4,500, $100 a day. To date, 5 days in, I'm already at $1,433. Now, I know I'm not making as much money as some people, right? I'm not trying to claim that I'm a millionaire or anything like that. But I'm saying if I can do it, then you can do it. I mean, definitely. There are some people making tens of thousands of dollars a month on TPT. So if you're doing that, and or if you're close to that, and you look at all your other income streams, I think you could blow me out of the water. So let's go ahead and debrief this together. On the 10th, this was day 1 of the experiment. It was a fun day because the 10th is when we get our monthly payout for Teachers Pay Teachers. And I actually felt a little bit conflicted of whether or not I should include it, but I said, no, you know what? I'm going to include every single payout I get, and I'm going to earmark where it came from. So I had some of that come from affiliate marketing and some of that come from TPT commissions. By the way, if you go and view this document, I have little notes in here because I know some of you are listening. I have little notes in here that share what I did, what I was thinking. Did I try anything new or different? What did I do for marketing? So I have resources in here too. That money came from affiliate marketing and from TPT. In the TPT commission box, I linked to Alexandra Baxter's terrific Teacherpreneur course. Her course isn't always open. So if you do go to click on that and you haven't heard of her or her courses before, they're absolutely fantastic. I recommend them to everybody, but her courses aren't always open. So what I recommend is go ahead and click on it and get on the wait list for it. I am such a huge fan of Elizabeth Goddard and her course, the lazy guide to affiliate marketing just completely blew my mind. I have already been a blogger since 2018. I've already done a lot of affiliate marketing, but that course has been such a game changer. And I'm actually in her Silver Moon sales program right now. That's about making sales every day. That's also been really helpful. So those two things helped me make that on the first day. On day 2, on June 11th, I made $272, and I made that from sales of the Barter Board, which is a course I released on the back of the Teacher Seller Growth Summit that Misty Miller just held. It was actually a pretty low ticket course. It's $77 normally, and it was $47 for the people who participated. So I had a special deal. And then I also had some affiliate sales that came from the Teacher Seller Growth Summit itself. And then I talk about Brittany Long and how we're doing a training together, which I'm going to talk about that in a second if you haven't already seen the post in my group or read the email. On day 3, June 12th, I made $0 in payouts that day, but I did make a sale of $60, so I didn't include that because I'm going to include everything by payout, the day I'm actually paid, not the day I make it. And if you make money with affiliate marketing, sometimes there's a delay by a month or two. I did make that $60 sale from affiliate marketing. Many of you also know this, but I'm a travel agent and I have an affiliate link. So when people become a certified travel agent through my affiliate link, I earn a commission at no extra cost to them. That's what affiliate marketing is, right? So that's what happened is someone bought through my link and then I got that commission and I put a link in there. If you're ever curious, it comes up sometimes. Sometimes I have some TPT seller friends who are like, I kind of want to do what you do, or at least want to figure out how I can get some discounts as a traveler, or maybe have like a service in addition to what I do on TPT. So that's there if you want to check that out. And the next day, same thing. On the 13th, I made $360. And part of that was from affiliate marketing. 2 people bought their travel agent licenses through my link. And then I also had an invoice paid for my services because I do offer freelancing services as well. That total was $360. So you can see the trend here, right? Except for one day, I'm on track to make $100,000 this year. That's crazy to say. Now, I have made $100,000 before, but it was a combination of teaching income, teacher consulting income that was not related to my business. So I wasn't even sure whether or not I should count it. But this might be the first year that I make $100,000 from just business income, which is amazing because I've only been out of the classroom for 2 years. But you don't even care about that. I mean, maybe some of you do. Some of you are cheering me on, which is great. But I want to show you because, oh my gosh, if this is happening for me, this can definitely happen for you too. And then day 5, that is today. Now, today isn't over, right? Like that's another thing I have learned is sometimes, well, especially if you ever have a course or something and you do have a big launch, so many of your sales are going to come on the last day and often even at the last minute, last hour, last 15 minutes. So it's possible that maybe people will find things and buy it from me on the last day today. But I did have some sales come through. I actually had $421 today, and that actually came from my own commissions as a travel agent. We get paid out on the 15th and the 30th every month. So that was really encouraging and helpful. And so that is how I ended up making $1,433 in 5 days. The encouraging thing about this is my goal over 45 days is and was $4,500. I'm actually thinking about upping that because if you look at my average, my hope was to make at least $100 a day. I'm averaging closer to $270, $300. So I'm thinking, wow, can I make $10,000 in 45 days? Let me know in the comments what you think if you're watching this on YouTube. Should I just go for it? Should I go for 10,000 or should I just hit 4,500 and see how it goes? If you're listening to the audio only version, you can send me a DM on Instagram and let me know over at Brittany Verlenich. I would love for you to come follow along with me. I just think it's so fun. I think it's really inspiring. I have this tab at the bottom where I'm just going to do 1 week at a time. So you can check the different tabs if you want to see, just because you can see otherwise we're going to be scrolling forever with 30 days here. This is a testament to how hot and dry it is here in Arizona right now. It's a high of 105 today. My hair's almost dry. I just barely got out of the shower a little bit before I started recording this video and it's half dry already. So that's incredible. I'm sure if you live in a humid climate, like that's not something that would happen. But I really hope that you follow along with me on this journey. And most importantly, I want to share some ways that you can get this going for you too. I used to be really against AI. I don't know if you remember Shelly Reese's retreat in early 2023. Everybody was talking about ChatGPT. It's like it had taken over the world. And it wasn't that I was really scared for myself as a freelancer, as a service provider. Honestly, I was more scared for the greater implications of what it means for art and written work. Things like intellectual property, copyright infringement, trademarking, being able to have a framework, and if you put it in, is ChatGPT stealing that? And also, were we accidentally going to steal and copy other people's work? And there have been so many things that have happened where someone used ChatGPT and said, hey, write me a blog post. They just copied it, literally pasted it. Someone else came after them and said, hey, why do you have my stuff? That blog post trained the model. So I don't want to say that we're not figuring things out. I mean, AI is just moving so incredibly fast that things are different than they were even a year ago. And I have really trusted Brittany Long to guide me through this whole process. I have been really following her closely. Honestly, she's a big part of my story because I was following her even before the AI stuff back in 2017, 2018, I want to say. Maybe it was that, maybe a little bit later, because she and her husband had a blog about life after teaching, which, by the way, if you're on Facebook, because that group is so big, I want to say like 100,000 people. If you've ever looked into leaving the classroom, you're probably in Brittany's Facebook group, Life After Teaching. And if not, shout out to Brittany. That's an excellent resource, one of my favorite Facebook groups. It has so much in there for teachers who are looking to get out of the classroom. So she and I are friends, and she agreed to do this awesome training for me about AI and about how it can save you time. This amount of income that I'm making right now would not be possible if I was having to do everything myself from scratch by hand. And I would not be able to afford hiring the help that would be required to not do those things, to have an expert or professional take them over. So what is the alternative, right? Well, AI. Really, there are only 3 things you can do in your business to save yourself time and money. You can automate, delegate, or eliminate. And I highly do recommend, if you haven't already, do a time audit and see where is your time actually going. In fact, that's kind of what this process is. And if you'd like your own copy of this, you can actually go to the episode description, make a copy of it, and do your own if you'd like to start tracking this stuff. See where is your money coming from and which things are taking the most time. Sometimes the things that are taking the most time aren't necessarily the same things that are bringing you money. And in fact, as entrepreneurs, we're going to make more money and have a bigger impact when we unlink the amount of time we spend and the amount of value we create. Faith Mariah, I just interviewed her, and there's a really good episode on my podcast about that if you want to go watch or listen. So Brittany agreed to do a training for us. So if you are watching or listening in real time, she is doing a training for us in 3 days on Tuesday, June 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific. So 9 a.m. Pacific is 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, and I think it ends up being 5 p.m. London, if I'm not mistaken. But all of that will be in the episode description for sure. It's totally free, so you're going to put your name and email in there, and you're going to get an email that has all the information, as well as the Google Calendar link and the Zoom meeting link, so you know where to go and when, and don't worry, we'll send reminders so you don't miss out. But I'm really excited for this. Honestly, Brittany Long doesn't even know how much she's changed my life, even though I've told her, and even though we're friends, I don't really think she understands the impact. Like, if I had not found her blog, when I was considering, is this something I could do? Could I be a full-time blogger? Even before TPT was in my mind, I was thinking, could I be a travel blogger full-time? Like, is this even possible? Is it really possible that people will pay me to take them on trips? Will teachers do that? So she just had me exploring what was possible. She's part of me really operating in the realm of possibility and opportunity. I really owe a lot of that to her. And so I would love for you all to come and learn from her too. One, because she's a genius with this stuff and she's so smart with using AI in creative ways to save time and make money, but also because she's just really inspiring, I think. So I really want for you to come and hear her story and to learn how you can use AI to run your business and make $100,000 or more, maybe your next 100K as a solopreneur. And by solopreneur, maybe you have 1 or 2 VAs or freelancers you work with, but you are a company of one. By the way, another great book, Company of One, and 10X is Better Than 2X, is the book I mentioned earlier. Thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of the Social Media Magic Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe, and then click the little bell so you never miss notifications of when a new video is posted. And while you're here, you can go ahead and hit a like too. If you have any questions about anything I covered, or if the links aren't working or whatever, go ahead and leave me a comment here if you're on YouTube. If you're listening, you can send me a DM on Instagram over at Brittany Verlenich. And again, those links are in the episode description as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video or on the next episode.